Yo, what's good, y'all? So damage in WoW is very important. Other elements are important too, like positioning, communication, CC, etc. But I think damage is the most important because ultimately, if you don't have enough damage to kill people, you can't end the game and you can't game rating. So I want to show you how to do massive damage on Windwalker Monk. So first off is gear. Mastery is very important. So it basically just gives you raw damage if you don't press the same button twice. You want to have 23% crit, 42% mastery. We don't need that much haste because we actually get more haste from talents, which I'll go over in the rotation. Verse is 32% and speed is 15%. Also, I do PvE a little bit on this character, so I'll link my alt, which is full bis, in the description, so you could just copy over the gear. The rotation is a little bit different for when you're bursting and for when you're doing consistent damage. At the start of the arena, what you want to do is you want to put your port down behind a pillar, and you want to expel harm for the chi, and for your combo strikes, you want to Jade Crackling Lightning, that, Chi Wave, Jade Crackling Lightning, and then that gives you 4% more damage that stacks up to 2 times. You want to Xuen, you want to Phalanx Stomp, you want to Tiger Palm, Strike of the Windlord, Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick, Blackout Kick, Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick. Now, as you see, in that, I just did 3.5 million damage, and that was slow. So the reason why you want to Jadefire Stomp is because of this talent right here. It literally just makes it so that you do 12% more damage, but it has to hit the target that you're trying to get the buff on, right? And you want to Invoke Xuen Tiger because it gives you, not only does it do damage on its own, but it also gives you 10% more damage on top of that. So here is the damage fast. So as you can see, it is a lot of fucking damage. You can even cancel your Fist of Fury early if you want to do a Rising Sun Kick. Sometimes that's good, especially if they're getting low. Also, another thing you could do is you can spam Fist of Fury and Touch of Death while this, like spam Touch of Death while that is casting. Obviously you want to use that when they're low. That's your highest priority. Otherwise, if they're low, and sometimes Rising Sun Kick will get them in that range depending on what their health is. Now, a big reason why you don't run haste is because Invoker's Delight, which gives you 33% haste after summoning your Celestial, which is Xuen. Also, with the PvP talent Alpha Tiger, attacking new challengers with Tiger Palm fills you with the Spirit of Xuen, granting you 20% haste for 8 seconds. And you can only do this every 30 seconds per target. Well, what's interesting about this is, imagine this is a totem, I get the buff. Also, you can do that on pets, so you don't have to use up your Keepers, which is Skyreach. It used to be Keepers as a legendary, but Tiger Palm, when you use it 10 yards away, it teleports you to the target. Also, it gives you plus 50% crit for 6 seconds on your target, which has a 1-minute cooldown. Now, I have something to track this. This is ready, and then it's there for 6 seconds. Now, it is nerfed in PvP by a little bit, but if you have the haste, or I mean the critical strike, like I was saying before, it's almost 100% chance to crit. So it is very, very nice. And that's why your rotation is going to be a little bit different for when you're bursting. So that being said, your rotation when it's consistent is you're going to Bayline on cooldown, and then you want to Fist of Fury first, Rising Sun Kick next. And it has a higher chance to crit because of Xuen's battle gear. Rising Sun Kick criticals reduce the cooldown of Fist of Fury by 4 seconds. When Fist of Fury ends, the critical strike chance of Rising Sun Kick is increased by 40% for 5 seconds. So that's why you want to do that for consistent damage. Also, Strike of the Windlord on cooldown. Let's say you have RSK and Fist of Fury is on cooldown. To reset it, you want to use Blackout Kick as a chance to completely reset RSK. But you basically want to Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, and use that rotation until you can get back Fist of Fury first, and then you want to Rising Sun Kick. And The reason why you want to do that is Teachings of the Monastery. Tiger Palm causes your next Blackout Kick to strike an additional time, stacking up to 3. Blackout Kick has a 12% chance to reset the cooldown of RSK. What I would recommend is a burst macro. I have my Orc Racial, I have Serenity, I have my badge in there as well. So it's a lot easier to make macros like this because you don't have to press 3 different buttons, right? I personally like to have Strike the Windlord in there because but it just makes it a lot easier, so I recommend it. I will have that in the description if you're interested, but definitely have a burst macro at the very least. Also going to be cases where you are going to have only 2 chi when you Tiger Palm, and Fist of Fury is the only thing that's up, and Rising Sun Kick is on cooldown, right? So what you want to do is you see you have 2 chi, get 1 with Expel Harm, and then you can Fist of Fury. Another important macro to have is a cancel pet macro. And why this is important is because, look at this. I incap and it just breaks immediately to it. So what I like to do is I have this on Control C and I could just dismiss it immediately. So it's literally just /dismiss pet. I have a show tooltip for Xuen. So highly recommend that. I'll have that in the comments as well. Another thing is using your mobility to keep uptime. So you're going to be fighting classes that have roots. So you want to use your rolls and your flying serpent kicks first before you use Tiger's Lust, and save it for when you get in a root, because this actually removes snares and roots from you. So this is more of like a minor thing, but it kind of min-maxes when you're doing shuffle. Sometimes you see a swap when someone doesn't have as much cooldowns and they're a better target to go. Definitely have this ping/ping in brackets at target attack. So this just tells everyone on your team, hey, attack this person, so they make the swap with you, so you have a higher chance of actually killing them. So highly recommend that. I started using it recently and it actually helps you win games more, because sometimes in an arena it's just hard to see when people are doing swaps. So if you can help out your teammate, it is great. So other ways to maximize your damage, let's say I already used Kiefer's on him, you can actually swap in order to like force more cooldowns, especially like when you have Serenity up. It's very important to swap, right? If you have a proc, definitely use it. I would wait until I use both of RSK and Fist of Fury just to reset it, right? Because the tier set, it reduces the cooldown of those and Strike of the Windlord by 3 seconds, and the Blackout Kick reinforcement was nerfed in PvP by a lot, so you don't really use it for damage anymore, just resetting. But the buff actually stays there pretty much indefinitely, so you don't have to worry about like losing your proc as long as you use your free spinning crane kick. The other thing is, it's having the right build. I would definitely recommend this build. The only things I would swap out is, so first of all, Turbo Fist. It makes you parry and reduces the mobility of enemies by 90%. Lock that in 100% of the time. Also Alpha Tiger, which I talked about before. Versus melees, unless you're fighting a DH or Windwalker, always run Grapple Weapon. Now remember, this has a 30-yard range, so you don't have to go up and disarm people like you're a warrior or a rogue, right? The other thing is, you can use Reverse Harm against the melees that I said you shouldn't run Grapple Weapon against, and also run it all the time against casters and range, right? Also Grapple Weapon is good against hunters too. Even BM, Mighty Ox Kick is a good one, especially if you're on a map with like Dalaran, so you can knock them off the edge. If you're on Blaze Edge, knock them off the bridge. This is really good to use against healers, right? I haven't tried Storm Spirit Strikes. It might be good if you're trying to cleave, but a lot of the time when enemies are stacked, you're fighting melee, and Grapple Weapon is better anyways. One of my subscribers said I should try out Disabling Reach. So if you have trouble keeping up with your opponent, definitely try this out and let me know how it goes. Those are the PvP towns Now, pretty much every side of the Windwalker tree you want to lock in, right? Now, on the monk tree, it depends on your comp. Now, this doesn't really affect your damage, but I think it's very important to go over. You can go increase all healing taken by 8%, and allies within 10 yards, including yourself, 8% more healing. So 16% if you are playing with the healer. So if you're playing double DPS, you can just take out this, put it into more Vivify healing, so you have more off heals, and you can also heal yourself. Also, you have instant Vivifies every 10 seconds. You take one out of Close to Heart, put it into Strength of Spirit so you can have more Expel Harm healing. Also, if you are fighting against a Hunter, take it out of Strength of Spirit, put in Detox. Now, the reason why against a Hunter specifically is because when they silence your healer, you can actually remove that completely. Now, like I said, if you're playing with a healer, you can take one out of Close to Heart. This is the one that you want to take it out of when you're fighting Hunters. You can play it against rogues too, but it's definitely played against hunters. That is the best. But rogues can just reapply their poisons very easily anyways. So I don't personally do that. Now, Yu'lon's Grace is good. I mean, it was nerfed, but considering that our HP got buffed, it is a lot better. You can run Diffuse Magic as well against bursty classes like mages, against Ellie Shamans, we know how to one-shot. You can also use it against Paladins, even Holy. When they Sear and Glare you, you can actually reverse that onto them. When you're fighting Affliction Locks, make sure that they get their dots out on you first, and then you can diffuse magic, and they'll reverse all of that back on them. I've done like 250k damage just by reversing dots in one button. Not to mention, it is a very strong cooldown. So, highly recommend this. You can also use it against priests. Let's say they mind games you, diffuse magic, then, you know, they're having a bad day. That is pretty much the talents. So, for gear, you want the headpiece tier set with plus 70% versatility, plus 33 mastery, elemental lariat with main stat in mastery gem, 88 mastery gem, 88 mastery gem. Then you want the Verdant Gladiators, the shoulder pads. You want the Hellbloom cape, which is from World PvP. You want life. You want homebound speed on that. You want the tier set for chest. On the chest piece, you want accelerated agility. You can get a tiny bit more damage if you go waking stats. However, I do like the extra speed because if you're not keeping uptime on your enemy, like, you're not gonna be doing damage anyways. So that's what I like. You want the crafted piece for your wrists, plus 200 speed, plus 70 versatility, and plus 33 mastery. You want the Verdant Gladiator's claws. You want the Hellbloom sword, which is from World PvP. Both of them you want Sophic Devotion on, which is main stat. Then you want your gloves to be tier set, Hellbloom belt, which is from World PvP as well. You want pants to be tier set. You want the Infurious foot wraps of Indemnity. And you want Plane Runner's Breeze on that, and you want the embellishment that anytime you do crowd control, you get main stat. May only occur once every 30 seconds. You want 2 of the Crafted Ring, Signet of Titanic Insight, plus 82 versatility, plus 70 versatility, and plus 33 mastery. Ringbound Hourglass, plus 82 versatility, plus 70 verse, plus 33 mastery. You want the On-Use Trinket. And then you want, obviously, the medallion. If you want even more mastery, you can do another Hellbloom sword. Also, the Elemental Lariat is nerfed in PvP by 50%, but we did have the cape before that gives you the shield. That was giga nerfed, so we don't run that anymore. This is much better. If you want me to do a full-fledged guide, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to make it. So anyways, hope you enjoyed. Hope this helps. Make sure to do the algorithm things, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.